Good evening, fam. Come on in, come on in. I am Robert Stroger, pastor of New Life Changing Christian Center. I want to thank you for joining us this evening. We're back again with our authentic talk. What is it, Kathy?
Real life talk with authentic discussions.
Real life talk with authentic discussions.
Mhm.
All right. Hold on. Let me make sure we good. I hope everyone can see us and hear us clearly. Good evening, family, or good morning, good afternoon, whenever you're watching this. All right, we're gonna jump right in real quick and we're gonna start. Tonight's conversation is, and we're gonna start it off. Am I meeting your representative? Am I meeting your representative? Also, you can join us on our social media page. You see it the screen below. It's New Life Changing CC is our Facebook page, and YouTube is New Life Changing Christian Center, right?
Yep.
New Life Changing Christian Center Inc. And the website is
newlifechangingcc.org.
yeah. I don't know why it's dark.
It's
Is it dark?
shaded out right there.
Yeah, for some reason. I don't know what's happening. Technical difficulties.
Mm-hmm.
But all right, let's jump right in. So am I meeting your representative? Mr. Marcus. Oh, I introduced who we got tonight. I'm sorry, guys. We got my sister Kathy.
Mm-hmm.
Is right here next to us, and below down is Mr. Marcus T.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. So we're gonna jump right in.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's get started. I'm gonna toss it over and get it passed to Mr. Marcus, and we're gonna start right in. Am I meeting your representative? Let's jump in.
Mm-hmm.
The answer is yes. 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 No, no, really. I was up when I sent this to our group chat. I was up watching a show, and the character in the show had a role in this group, in this team, and the team's role was separate from his family role. When he was with the team, it was always team first, team first, team first. But he brought that same dynamic to the family, right? And let me think about how we operate today in society. We meet so many people and we want to put our best foot forward, right? And they would say, put your best foot forward because first impression is the last impression. But the question is, in that encounter, are you there, right? Or are you put on this facade for this environment, like we talked about at the on Sunday at the art show thing that we went to. Um, y'all did YouTube land. We went to our show Saturday, pretty amazing time. But it's brought about how you make yourself palatable for other people in situations. Um, and it's interesting that for me per se, I do it a lot of times, right? Because you don't know the room you in sometimes, but they call it code switching, whatever they label it as. But it's like, why do we do that? Like, why can't we put ourselves first? Why can't what we present be ourselves? Why do we have to put this facade up? You know, but we see it a lot. Like I said, you see it. I saw it in the TV show. It was heavy in the show. I was watching. I was like, this is crazy. That's group chat. Bang. Let's talk about this here. Because I wanted, like, have y'all experienced that with yourselves? Like the representative comes before us. I know we free now, right? Now we free. We ain't always been in this space, in the journey of life, you know. And I do find myself resorting back to the representative sometimes because I want people to see, I guess, the me that I see in my head that I want you to see first before you judge me with everything else. Because you see me first thing you see is what? The walker, right? So now my representative comes before though. I put them out there. I'm proper. I'm manifold. I'm always those things, but I put emphasis on it sometimes with certain people because I don't want them to talk about certain things. I want them to see me a certain way. I want you to get to me first before that, right? And I'm saying the thing about it now. That's a whole contradiction now. If I'm free in it, why is the representative come before everybody? I'm sorry, I just had a revelation just then. That was a seal moment for me just then, right? Like if I'm free in it, why is my representative introducing me? Why can't I introduce me? Yeah, that's crazy.
Amen. See lie, like you said.
Yes, yes.
Just a quick comment, Marcus. You said people see the walker and then they see you. But is the walker you? Like, is it you, or is it something that you've gone through and it's just a part of you? But the walker is not you. It's not the real you. It's just a part of something that you've gone through. When people sit and talk to you, you know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
saying who the real you really is, right? And so I don't know why when I looked at the question, it made me think about when we used to have service at the middle school, and one of our sisters, I'm just gonna call her name Cheryl, when she met us or will be around us, she thought we was a cult. She was like, these people, something they off. Like nobody's this nice, nobody's this kind, nobody's this loving, right? But she was meeting the real us. Though she may not have known we were all going through some stuff and we may not have been healed at that time. I ain't saying, but she still saw something that was real, that was genuine, that was authentic, that she wasn't used to. So for me, yes, there was a time that I gave people the representative of me because I thought that that was the me that I was supposed to show people, right? And like you said, we're healed now. So the time that I was bringing up the facade and being not necessarily fake, but the facade because I wasn't being my true authentic self is because I bought the lies that people told me about myself. Which means at that time, no, I didn't really know who I was. I wasn't confident in myself. I didn't even believe the things that God had said initially about me. You know what I mean? I even had to grow into that. So, yes, there was a time I gave people the representation of what I thought they wanted to see. But now it's like you said, it's freeing because I'm no longer giving you a representation. I'm me 24 hours of the day. I remember even Robin saying like, we see Pastor on the line, but she was like, he the same way at the house. And that's how it should be, right? And it is called code switch. We shouldn't code switch. We should be the same. I don't care who's around, but it's the president of a company to the janitor, and you know what I'm saying? We should just always be ourselves. So it's important to first of all to know who we are. And then we don't have to put on any type of facade. You just walk in it. Take it.
Yeah, I totally remember having a representative, and I had a couple of them. It was a work one. There was a home one, which was the real me, like home just with the kids. But then when they was home, like with my family, like my mom, my dad, and if it was a family function, that was a representative. And then there was a representative when I went over here to the church, and it's representative. I totally remember doing that. But just like what Kathy said, I think when I figured out or got the revelation of who I really was, like none of those representatives represented me in no kind of way. They were all off. Every last one of them. Like none of them matched who I really figured or found out I was, because those things that I did and those things that I was doing, those places I was showing up, and then I was doing that because that's what people wanted me to do. And like you said, sort of, Kathy, like I bought whatever they told me I'm supposed to do. No, as a woman, you do this. No, our family do this. No, this is what we do, And so, and then, just coming up, then, your parents teach you, when you go to work, you do this, and this is how you act. And don't you go out here and represent me wrong. And don't you say these words, and don't you do, and it was so many things that you had, they had hangups and they put them on you, and then, they didn't know they were being the best they could be. I'm not blaming them. I'm just saying when I finally came to the realization that, hey, I don't like doing that. I don't like going there. I don't want to do this. That's not what I really like to do. hey, that don't even make sense anymore. Like, why did I do that? Da, 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 da. Once I figured that out and got confident in who I was, and then it didn't matter what they thought of me. I just had to kind of show up as who I was. And then that person shows up everywhere, because guess what? It was easier for me to show up that person than it was for the other, because the other people I had to de-escalate from.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That those other persons took a lot of energy out of me. And then when I found that I can just show up places and they took me for and understood me and or not, but they just dealt with me for who I was given. I was like, oh shoot. You know what I'm saying? Like, why was I doing that? But that is totally a thing. And then like outside of myself, it's so funny because we used to say in our interviews at work, I do panel interviews, for the department, and they always say, y'all know we're going to get these representatives that show up, to the interview. And then when you get them, you hire them, and then now you see the real person and you're like, God, dog. You know what I mean? And so we had gotten into the pattern of a couple of us, like we would call them offline and talk to them, check their social media pages and see what the real deal is. And then you can determine, because even on like some of those socials, like your LinkedIn and all that, they put their professional person there. And they do that, what I'm saying? But I'm like, no, let me dig into, let me see what's going on Facebook. Let me see what's going on Instagram, YouTube, and the Snapchat and all of that. Like they would allow us to make these, phony pages, and we can show up to see what's really happening. And then you're like, yeah, no, not that one. We're not going to do that.
Yeah.
Or, but yeah, those representatives definitely show up. It's definitely a real thing. You know what I mean? And I see them all over the place now. I can see them. I can see them. And it's interesting because I see the real them for real. I can see the real. So I know that this ain't real right here. What you giving me is not who you are. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, that was real interesting. But that was definitely very tiring for me. In the moment that I could lay down all of them different people, it was a good day. But you lose people in that because they don't like that. Because then you've made yourself palatable for everybody else. I haven't heard any rules that we had to do that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It was just something that we did. It's very interesting.
It's so funny. I never saw it as a representative. Like, I don't know if I ever had one. You know what I mean? That's just me, my personality.
I believe that.
Yeah, I don't think I ever had one, because when I talk to someone, even in job interviews, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know. I wouldn't call it representative, but I would, if their energy is high, right? I wouldn't match that. Mm-hmm. I want your energy to come down to where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I never, and I hear people, and I'm not, it's interesting because I never looked at it like that as a representative. Like I never had one. Mm-hmm. It was just me. Mm-hmm. Now, if you say you change maybe your tone, the way you talk, because if I see that person is feeling some kind of way, then I may change my tone. I may change the word to bring them down to a more relaxed, because I see you tense. I see you on edge. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I want you to feel comfortable, even though you may be head in that position or head in a leadership or something, but we're going to have a conversation. We're going to come down here as regular human beings, right? Mm-hmm. It's just, and then when I did see people bringing representatives, then I shut down. Then I go into quiet, because I'm a quiet individual, just regular, right? And this guy got me in here talking. But so now I'm a shut down because I'm not getting the real individual. You know what I'm saying? I always wanted to get the real authentic individual that I'm talking to, because that's the only way you can communicate with one another on the true form, is get you, right? Not your title, not your degree, not your job, but you. You know, and God is showing me that more and more and more. But I didn't realize that, and I hear it all the time. We talked about it. Matter of fact, I think we had a conversation about it too a while back. And even in people meeting and dating, they give their representative first, right? Because they want to show you something. Now, when I was younger, did I lie about stuff? Yeah, I may lie about, Is that a representative? I guess. You know what I'm saying? When I was younger, dating, what have you, I lied, embellished, if you want to call it, but it's a lie. I don't know if that's representative, but you just BSing, right? But I never changed my tone. I never changed, meaning I didn't change who I am.
Yeah.
To accommodate you. I may kick BS out of my mouth. Yeah, that's game. You know what I'm saying? That's just stuff you do and try to manipulate or persuade. But I never changed who I was. But I guess is that a representative? I don't know, because I never did. Because like you said, it's too tiring. It's enough dealing with myself as is. But then if I got to switch it, right, to something else, you know, it's kind of, that's tiring, because then I'm gonna forget who I am. Who am I at this time, right? What character am I playing? You know, and then I know sometimes we do that when we come in contact with different cultures. Some get intimidated, and I know some of us in our culture get intimidated by other cultures. Maybe it was my growing up in the teachings from my elders. I didn't have that. I didn't grow up with that intimidation. I'm gonna talk to you, and so what I would do is I would listen. If you said something off, now I'm angry because now the tense. You know what I'm saying? My tension is up. You know what I'm saying? So it's interesting to hear that, and then I know it goes on in society as a regular basis. You know, on a regular basis, you deal with it at work. You know what I'm saying? You especially in your corporate jobs or what have you. People, I was talking to the regional manager. He called me today about some stuff to give me some information, and he was talking, and then he went off into the representative side, and I was like, Joe, okay, stop. I said, okay, you have a good day now. All right. I said, that's awesome. And now I'm BSing. Because I don't want to hear what you're saying, because you're being phony. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna say, oh, that's awesome. Or use the words like you said, all these different words. You say, that's wonderful. That's amazing. Golly. And all that, you know, just because I'm annoyed now. You know what I'm saying? Because now you're lying, and now you're doing a lot of, you know what I'm saying? Back and forth. But I don't believe I ever had a representative, because even when let's go back relationship dating. I was trying to pull out every realness of Robin and be more regular, because she was giving me representative and she wasn't talking when we first went out. So I said, we're gonna pull this out, because I ain't got time for fakeness. Because if you ain't gonna talk and we can't talk, then we done. What's the purpose of this even going out? You can't communicate with, because now you playing game. You being that, I ain't got time for princess role. Let's talk. You know what I'm saying? Let's get to know one another, and let's have a communication. We breaking bread across from one another. So that's why I said I never. I don't think you know what?
I believe it.
And a lot of us, you adapt to the surrounding that you're at, right?
You learn.
You adapt to it. So say you're around a lot of people that's talking real proper, they're not using slang. They're not using, you know what I'm saying, or you know what I'm saying, broken dialect. Then is that if you want to use big words, I'm gonna use big words too. Let's match big words and let's play games. It's just interesting.
I think the difference, only because I know you just made me think of something when you were talking, because I believe you probably did not have to, because like when I met Rob, he was who he is right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I was very like intrigued by that. Like I was like, okay, hold up. He's this person. If I caught him outside at the store, he was doing that. When I went to the house and it, he was doing this, it was just the same. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. When we went to see his mom before I knew mom, what I'm saying? He was that person. And I was just like, oh my God. And then she was that person. You know what I'm saying? That she was every time I saw her, even if I heard him talking to her on the phone. And I was like, oh wow. But my representatives came when I was with my family, because that was a box that I was in. Because interesting enough, my dad used to teach me, when you outside talking to the people, stand up and say what you say and mean what you say. Talk very clear and concise. Do not use slang. You speak.
And see, that's what I grew up with.
Yeah,
So that's
right.
what I think.
But I did that outside. But then inside, though, in the house and over here with the family, no, it wasn't just me changing my, because if you, like you say, you adapt, you go into, if it's a ball, we're going to, and they're in gowns, I'm going to come in a gown. I'm not going to come in my leggings.
Of course, right.
You know what I'm saying? That's just respect, I think, and reading the room, because that is important. But when you have to change your likes, you change the way you dress, you change. If I'm gonna go over here, I'm not gonna wear these. I better not wear that. And oh no, she don't like me in that color. I can't wear the red. I can't do that because this, you know what I mean? Like, now that turns in, that's where the work. And I feel like that representative, and then, or that, that extra work come in, and that representative is being represented, because that is not who I am. I had a whole nother thing I had to do. And then the other thing was I had to calendar it so that I can, I hate saying it, but conjure up that person. You know what I mean? Like, if I knew, oh boy, Christmas is coming, Thanksgiving, I was worked up. It was anxiety already. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, okay, it's coming. And I know we're going to be together. And all right, now let's do this. Hey, and you do that thing, and you got to break yourself down and be palatable for your family, or they're going to say something about you. That's different. I think that's where the difference is now. And I mean, I guess like outside corporate world, like these people that show up for the interviews, they give you and kick you. Oh yes, I can do this, and yep, and I did this for 10 years, and I did this. Boop, yep, expert at that. Boom, 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 boom. You get them. They don't know a thing. Instead of saying, no, I don't know it. I'm not an expert at it. But I have had some experience in this.
But
I
mean, to cut you off, but isn't that selling yourself to gain something? Because a lot of us, we sell ourselves. Is that a representative? Because even meeting someone, like I said, go back to relationships and stuff like that, you're selling yourself. They don't know you, right? You don't know them. So you're putting it, just like when you go get a car, they give you all the bells and whistles and what the car can do, right? But they don't tell you the other part. Has been 75 recalls. It's been this and that. They have a problem with this. The transmission goes out in these in the next 5 years. They're not going to give you, they won't give you the real, because you're not going to buy that car. So is that a representative, or you're selling yourself in that? You know what I'm saying?
But the car can do these things. And yes, it's been through stuff. That's why I'm saying, yeah, I may know it, but I don't know an expert. But if you're giving something that you don't know anything, like that's not you. Then you understand? Like, but
it's still selling. You know what I mean? And y'all do like a salesman.
I guess it would be considered selling, but if you,
that's just like I said, no, like what I'm saying is, even in relationships, even meeting friendships, you're still giving them your positive side, right? You're giving them all the so-called good things that you think you have, right? And you giving them out. that you think others see you as, like Marcus said. So is that representative / selling?
Yes.
But you're selling something, right?
Yeah, but like you said, you put the good before the bad, right? So like dealership, right? This car you can fit all. You got 13 kids, they can all fit in here. They all got seat belts, seats heat up, right? That. But I'm not gonna tell you about the recall that was on the last week, right? The representative is the bills that was on the car. Some like the relationships and like the workplace, right? Like it's funny. So I put a representative on early on in my life for my family to fit in with my family. Outside of that, I was a whole different person, right? Because with them, you had to be a certain way. My
Yes.
mom used to say, "You at this house here, you represent me," right? And I was like, "Well, we're going out here. You fit in with them, so I got to fit in too." Now I don't really care about them people. I really don't. Got nothing. I don't care. I don't. You be who you are. You over there. I'm over here. But even I remember when I applied for Bowie, right? We did freshman interviews, and I was like, man, I don't. School ain't my thing. So I'm gonna get into school here, right? Because I'm getting in. I applied. I spent my money. I'm getting into school here. I remember I said with the interview person, he asked me one question. I set up. You know, I'm a writer, right? Boom. That was quick like clockwork. Good words coming out. Good fluid sentences. I didn't stutter that one time. I got on the interview. I was like, y'all, let's go to McDonald's, get some these Happy Meals right quick. Some, whole different person at that point. Because the interview process, I got to get into school here. Like I sold my, not in that term, but like I'm selling me, so I get this entry thing here to get into the school here. And I remember I met I met a teacher, and I was talking to her, and she was like, "Is this you?" And I was like, "Whatever do you mean?" Real proper with it. And she was like, "No." She said something ain't right here. She said, "Next semester I want you in my class," and she broke me down. She became my school mom, right? And I was like, "Yo, you said this whole time I could have been this person. I got it in here." Not realizing this is Bowie State. I mean, this not like, forgive me. I love Bowie, right? Went there. This ain't like the Ivy League, Yale, Harvard type school with 4,500 kids. It's Bowie. It's a local school. It's a great HBCU, right? But I remember them with my head. Mama said, parents said, go out this house. I represent them, right? I can't talk like Marcus when I go to the interview here. I can't because this the college. College different than high school. High school you got to go to because that's part of the day-to-day operation, right? College is one of the things you have to literally apply, right, and put your best foot forward to get accepted in certain spaces. And I remember in that same space, the same teacher, and I'm about to go for this return. I'm about to, I want to cross with this fraternity. And she was like, "Nah, that ain't you," right? And I looked at the guidelines, and I was like, "Yo, her name is Valerie. Miss Valerie, you right?" Because they ain't gonna yell at me like that. This is stupid. 4 o'clock in the morning for what? It's an ice cream truck on the corner right there. You want to ice cream your own stuff, And I remember those things click right there, and there's no right there. And she wanted the representative thing back then, right? She was like, you can't be nobody else but yourself in this space here. And that's one of the things I loved about that space. And I do struggle with it from time to time now, putting that representative on certain situations. And it's not always just the walker. In some rooms I walk into, I want to make sure that I just put this video up on Instagram, right? I walk in the room, the first thing you see is my skin. But when I leave, you're gonna remember my voice, right? Sometimes let's be transparent. Look at us, right? Black folk, African Americans, right? And put us in a certain caliber. We walk in certain rooms. That's the first thing they see. Your skin says this about you here. So let me break the ice with you right now and meet you where you are. I'm gonna give you my representative in certain space. It may not be a good thing. It's not a good thing, but it happens. That's reality of that's reality of how we live today, right? So we're I hate this term selling ourselves. It sounds so it rolls off your tongue really bad, right? But we are putting this space, this front up here, so that I can get looked at for this job here, get looked at for this loan here. Even the dealership, you walk in now, right? And they clock you as soon as you walk through the door. We went and got the car, right? The first thing they did was they looked at me. I ain't buying no car. She is. But when she told him that, they still asking me questions. And I'm passing the mic. No, she's getting the car. Why are you asking me about? No, I don't care how much. It's her car payment. She's driving the car here, and The lady, then it clicked in her head. And it's like, okay, your wife's getting in the car, but then the finance guy comes out the back. Well, sir, I said, I'm not, my name ain't on this deed attached to this car. The owner's right here, right? Even when the people come in here to do the maintenance, they come talk to me. And I don't know if it's because of a lot of men won't talk to the lady of the house, talk to the man of the house. I get it, right? I guess it's a respect thing, but still, don't call me out the back when she's right there. When she opens the door for you, you address her. I make her around the corner, make sure everything all right, but you initiate with that conversation right there, right? But it's the representative thing. I see it a lot, and I'm one of the ones who do it. We're being transparent right now because I want to make sure that you don't see me in a certain light sometimes, right? Whether I still have a little bit of bandage every when it comes to that there. I'm not all the way there yet. Okay? Past, I ain't got it like that just yet, right? It'll get there. It'll get there. But I want to make sure when I go into a room, like I said, when I leave out, you know who I am. But to get there, you have to first see me, right? And it sounds so stupid to say out loud, but that's the world we live in, right? What we live in, and it's sad because you look at us a certain way. And I'm talking about black folks, right? If I'm offending somebody, I'm sorry. Go to the next video, right? But we see this all the time in our community. You go into a space or a room, and we're automatic. It's already a preconceived notion about how we are, right? Like point case, we go to church, right? We don't wear suit tie. What you could the 15-piece suit in the summertime, but the wool blend. We don't do that. We come literally like this right here, right now, right? But certain spaces we used to walk into, what did we used to have to do, right? The representative met us there, right? We leave out there, and I'll take this off. It's hot. We sweat, and we go out. We change the clothes quick in a heartbeat, real fast. That representative is there, and I wonder if it's something that's embedded in us. Like Robin, like you said, our parents said, go out the house, you do this here. You have to be a certain way so that they can perceive you a certain way. It's sad, but it's a reality that we face. It really is sad. And I know as a younger person, I may not have seen the brunt of the representative thing there, but I know you guys have been through it before. Not that y'all are old people. Not saying that. All right. But you guys have life experience that you've been in situations where you had to be a certain way before you met somebody, before you walked to a certain room, right? A certain perspective or something there, right? If I'm wrong, let me know. Rob, I know you and that person, right? You were just trying to get the positives out first, and that's okay, right? But that representative thing, it's a heavy thing that we deal with. It's sad, but it's the reality of today. This conversation with whole left. I'm sorry, get real heavy just then. But as I'm having these feel moments in my head, I'm replaying back in the past 5 years how many times my representative walked the room before I have. Right? Even Sunday at the art show, Marcus walked through that door. When I got that microphone, my representative met me there first. I had to pull it back. Right? This family here, like this is supposed to be a safe space. We're having a safe conversation about something. But he was creeping up. Right? See, Marcus was there, but Marcus T came up a little bit. Right? We're the same person. But Marcus T has a different aesthetic about him. If that makes sense. Right? And it was there, and I was like, well, let me pull back a little bit. That's when I cried that day. The representative was gone. Because that was me there. That was raw me. And now you see me for everything that I'm for you raw, and as you say, naked, stripped down. But we walk out those doors almost every day, and everything kicks in. Right? We drive in the car, them red blue lights kick on. What happened? You sit up in that seat. The representative meets you right there sometimes. It's a sad thing we do, but it's heavy, man. It's real heavy. It's the dumbest thing we have to face, but it's there. I want to say another word, but I'm trying not to cuss no more. I'm doing better. I ain't cussing about the past 24 hours. I'm doing really good, y'all. But it's there, and it's the most irritatingest thing that's there. I'm sorry. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, why do we have to do that? right? Why do we have to be a certain way for somebody to accept us?
Mhm.
Like it's clicking, it's clicking, but it always mesh like it's supposed to. Like I'm tired of having to be, what did you say, pressed and proper to walk into a room. That's stupid to me now. Like, why can't I just be me and you accept me? I don't want to water down myself, right? I don't want to downplay what I can and can't do. I can't do a lot of things, but I'll figure it out. I like saying on them interviews, you should see my resume now. It's padded. Glad I work for myself now because that resume is padded, right? It's not just Microsoft skills, right? Oh, I'm computer literate, right? That's a whole door for everything there. But that representative is one of those things that it just, I feel like I'm taking over. I feel like I'm rambling. I'm so sorry about that, but it's the more I sit in it, the more I'm like, yo, why? Why?
It is interesting. And I noticed in the generation as you know, as you guys are coming up, the younger generation than us, you know what I mean? I don't, what Gen, I don't know. I don't know what we Gen X.
Yeah.
Is that
We are.
okay? Yeah.
He's a millennial.
Yeah, I know he's
Oh,
amazing. But what I'm
yeah.
saying is, and I noticed times have changed, things have changed. You guys, your generation are freer, right? You know what I'm saying? You say you bring a representative, but I see you, Marcus, because I know you, right? And I see you know how to handle yourself in a professional setting, you know how to handle yourself in different settings, and you know how to conduct yourself as a mature adult. So I don't know how you feel inside. I can't speak for that, but what I see, right? And what God shows me. Now, and I understand, and it's a maturity thing. And you're in the maturity state, you feel like it, but you're growing up. You know what I'm saying? It's interesting. You're growing up and you're separating that boy Marcus and going to man Marcus. That you are able to sit in those settings with older people, with people that's so-called or supposedly more established, but the wisdom and the knowledge that God has given you makes you ahead.
Yes.
Right. Not what they have accomplished or not what degrees or money or anything like that. See, that's why you feel uncomfortable. This wasn't we supposed to be just talking. No. But what happens is because and that's why I said it's hard for me to keep saying representative.
Yeah.
Now I know what you're saying about family and pleasing someone and trying to make people happy. You trying to put on this face, we put on different faces. But when you come into God, we kill that,
That's
right?
Absolutely.
When you become a child of His in the kingdom, you kill that. But what happens is you become mature. You gain more wisdom. That other side of it has to go away, right? It starts separating.
It does.
You know what I mean?
That's good.
It's like you ever seen something like it stretches. It's still the same person, but it's stretching and it's kind of because it's separating, right? And so it may seem like I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But see, now you're walking in a different level. I don't know if you see it, but you're walking in a different level. So it is a change because you got to change. You are who you are, right? Like I said, a walk is not you. We know Marcus. Like I know Marcus. I don't know Marcus from little. I don't know when Marcus when he first went to Boo. I don't know. But that after stage, that's when I met Marcus. Yeah. Right now, I know Marcus from there to now.
Yeah. Yes.
And the change has happened, just like all of us. It's Kathy when I first met Kathy.
Yeah.
Kathy was this. Now I see her now. You understand? Just us, me and you, right? So it's a growth. And God, when God comes into our lives, we allow Him to work in our lives, we get a transformation. It's hard to see the transformation because you're like, this is I'm in a new place. And go back to Sunday, Marcus. You went into a brand new realm, brand new element that you never been in before.
Yes.
Right? So you back with, okay, I'm gonna do this. Can't do it. I can't go back to that, Marcus. I gotta go in today, Marcus, where God has brought me to. And that's a brand new place. You know what I'm saying? You still who you are. Like you said, you felt like you're representative. Of course, you're going to conduct yourself in a manner of professionalism because you're around professional individuals, right? And you're going to conduct in that manner. But when you spoke, you can't change that.
Say that.
Because that's the truth, right? Because that's why I said it's a hard, if you're saying represent. Now, people are fake. They're giving you fake. But when you know the truth, you can see the fake.
That's right.
So, and God, as we grow, oh man, our fake goggles come on, your detectors come on,
Yes,
and you see it. So that's why when you come into places, you can conduct yourself and you can adapt and chill in those different atmospheres. Jesus sat with different people, but still was moved, healed, was powerful, and sat down with whomever, and he wasn't out of place because you see the truth. He wasn't given a he already, this is who he is. He is who he is. You understand? He be who he be. Yeah. So if he talk to the tax collector, he gonna talk business, right? And understand how that works. He talk to this, he talks to the person in the street, he gonna talk to them in that manner and understand. God's children don't need to put in representatives. We are who we are. And once you understand it and knowing who you are, then it's not a representative, it's us growing, and now we can adapt and adapting to wherever we are. That's not being fake. I don't know if people say it's being fake. No, I can, because you know where that basis it comes from. It goes back to what I talked about Sunday, love. You got to be able to love to able to sit in every room and adapt to those individuals. You understand? To adapt to every corner, every personality. You got to love. That means you got to care about who you're talking to.
To be able to adapt to.
You got to care who you talk. Because if you don't care who you're talking to, then that means you stay in your own selfish way and you will talk over that person. You will put that person down and you will kill that person. You won't sit down and be level with that person and see. You understand what? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I hope that makes sense. I'm not confused.
Yeah.
All right, go back to Marcus. When you was saying your poem, quoting your poem, when you were reading, you were right there giving those individuals in that setting, those artistic individuals and where they are, because they're in touch with themselves. You was giving that right there where they at.
Yes.
I don't know if you realize that.
That's what God does.
That's what God does. And so if you even
that's good.
If you was in there with a bunch of suited, stiff starch individuals having a discussion and they wanted a poem in that, then you will articulate it in that manner for them right there where they are, and they will get exactly what you're saying. And you may not even shed a tear on that poem. It may be direct and boom. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what God does, and that's so amazing. He doesn't, because when you're in him, he does. You're not. That's why it's kind of hard for me to say. Now, when you out of him, you playing 75 different faces and 75 different roles because you don't know who you are, nor do you love yourself, right?
Yes.
But when we come into him, you may feel like, oh, I gotta put on this, but then when you start talking and maneuvering, allowing him to work through you, then you right there. You in the midst, and you moving, you changing lives. One person, even if it's just one person in that setting, you were there for to change that person's life, to even spark something in them to be free. You understand what I'm saying? So once we understand that, because then what happens is, and what has happened in history and over time, religion has given us representatives. The culture has given us, that religious culture has given us different personalities. Because if you notice, and this is just plain talk, and y'all see it. When you go to the black church, you got to act a certain way, and that's what the black church do. It had nothing to do with God. It's a culture within, so you have to take on that personality. Am I right, Kathy? When you go to a Southern church, you act this way. When you go to this one, you act this way, and you putting on 75 different faces, and no one in there is being their authentic self. But what they do is, when I come in front of you, now I'm gonna play that, whatever that acting school that you went to, that you was there on Sunday, the acting school that gave you that script, you repeat it in that same manner. And you're like, well, why you say that? Because we sitting here right here. Why are you talking in that manner? You understand what I'm saying? Because that's not changing anyone's life. You telling me, I say, hey, how you doing? Blessed and highly favored. God is my blessed. God is my savior. Da, 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 and they run on the script. I'm like, ho. Slow down. That's actually how you doing today.
You're doing right.
I didn't ask you the script, and don't give me that. Don't give me the church. Okay, you're not in the church right now. You don't have a collar on. Calm down. I think we miss, and even what has happened, religion has so killed us, and the scripts within the buildings have killed us, and how you supposed to be. I'm gonna go back. When you have love and you love individuals, you will respect the individual that you're talking to in front of you. So that means even if you do use the Queen's language in the proper form, and you roll your R's and you know what I'm saying, you long your T's or whatever, you're doing that. You're respecting the person that you're being yourself, but you're respecting that person that's in front of you. As you go to different countries, right? It's like we went to Italy. You want to learn their language. How do I say goodbye? How do I say good morning? Because you want to respect the person that you're standing in front. Because I'm in your area, I'm respecting you, and I'm showing knowledge because I care. Now, if I didn't care, I'd be like, y'all need to speak English. Blah, blah, blah. That means you don't care about the individual that you're talking to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You could care less about it. But while we was over there, we was trying to learn and trying to understand the culture because we cared. Like, this is interesting. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, is using that as an example because you have to love.
Yeah.
So that means you care about that person. So yes, if they're communicate, let's communicate. Okay, that's the way you want to communicate. Okay, let's communicate like that. You understand? Let's talk. That's where you feel. I'm gonna be right there with you. But in that, I'm gonna show you something. You know what I'm saying? Because we're gonna communicate. Go back to Marcus saying the poem. It got very emotional in that setting before the poem. All right. But in that, he drawed everyone in. Boom. Because it was right there, because he cared his heart, because he got love in his heart. As much as he tried to act like he don't like people, he loved people very hard.
Yeah.
So he was very passionate because he loved, and the setting that he was in, even though he was nervous and all that. Of course, when you're speaking in front of a group of people, everybody gets nervous, right? That's natural occurrence. If you don't get nervous and talking in front of people, that's a problem. And then you a narcissistic individual that just want to be heard, right? But by him sitting there and in that and drawing everyone together, it made everybody feel good. Even ones who are quite sure it was judgmental. But that's there. That's gonna be it. But what I'm saying is, it was right there. He loved. He gave it out because he wouldn't have gave it out in that passion if he didn't have love in his heart.
Correct.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
that's good.
Yeah. God's children shouldn't have representation.
I would say, and God, at the end of the day, God, if you ain't God, no representation.
It's no representation. It just
you meet God. People or meet your situation where that's very good. That's
that's it. That's it. It's real. And if God's children would get that and understand that, then we wouldn't be combating. We wouldn't be having back and forth, because you just
and you wouldn't be worked up all the time.
Because I care about you.
Yeah.
Right.
I love you.
Right.
Why am I arguing with someone I love? Because I love myself. I don't want to argue. When I see chaos, I'm not going to combat with chaos. I'm going to go ahead. Okay. Don't talk to them. Don't go down that road in that conversation. You cannot fix them. You cannot change the way they, that one right there.
Don't do it.
Even Jesus told the disciples that. Look, if they ain't trying to hear you, wipe your feet off the dirt off your feet,
That's
and
true.
let's keep it moving.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because some are not, they don't want to hear it, right? And you just got to keep moving. But you see where they at, but you're like, nah, because that's gonna be a fight. That's gonna take you off.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what that's gonna do is take you down another road. Now your other representative come out, Marcus, that one that's ready to kill and fight. You don't want that dog. You don't want that side to come out. That's not a God. Now you're ready to get physical and harm.
Now that's a representative.
That's a representative. But that's deep down inside, right? Which is supposed to be some
For
of
sure.
it. Mine's right here, and I gotta fight them on a daily basis. You understand? You know what I mean? But once we allow God to come our lives, we don't need no representative. Just
We
be who you be,
Okay.
right? As what's the word you use? Be unapologetic and
Oh yeah.
authentically yourself.
Yep.
I got it out.
Yeah.
And it's be you.
Be you.
That's it.
In Christ, you can do that.
Just be you,
That's it.
right? Because God is so amazing when He moves in your life. I'm gonna stop talking. When you allow Him to move in your life, you can adapt and change, not being phony. But have you realized that you can even do multiple jobs that you didn't even know you could do?
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that you could do so many things that you had no idea that I could even touch on?
That is so real.
Ain't that something?
Yes.
So you're not in a box, right? Well, I only can do this. This is who I am, and this is what I do. No, when
Nope.
you're in God, He'll have you over here doing this.
Yep.
He'll have you doing this. He'll have you doing this
Yep.
in your own self
Witness.
and doing this, and you never would have done that in your own
Nope.
mind. You never would
Never
have
could
done
have
that.
seen it.
And you never thought you could do that.
No.
You never thought you could organize this stuff.
No.
You never knew you could put it in line. You know what I'm saying? You thought you were over here, and this is what I do. This is
Yep.
what I've been doing. This is what my mother told me I could do. This is my family said. This is what you do. But when you're in God, it's endless. You understand?
Yes.
Because this year you could be doing this. Next 6 months you could be doing that. However He takes you, and this move, you allow Him to move, is endless.
That is.
It's
a
no
fact.
walls, no ceiling.
Nope.
Nothing like that is in God that you can. Then He give us this awesome body, awesome mind.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That we can do things and move as we come on, man.
Mhm.
It's amazing that you can be. Yeah, I'm gonna stop talking.
Mhm.
But in God, He can have you here, there, this way, but not chaotic, in order, right? And when He have you do it, when you like, God, I can't do that. That's hard. Then sit down and watch what happens, right? In different positions at work, you never thought you'd be. And yourself, for example,
Yeah.
never had the training on it. Boom, you done walk
Never.
into position, right? Why? Because it's God, right?
Right.
Exactly. And it's
And labeled as a what is it? Subject matter expert.
right.
I was like,
Got different titles,
that Jesus.
right? God, if you allow Him to work,
Right.
but when we do it, we're gonna stay right here.
Uh-huh.
This is all
Oh,
we-
that's
this is all
so
we know.
good. That's
But
so
if
good.
you allow Him to do it, man,
Mhm.
it's so powerful. It's so powerful.
Yep.
So powerful.
Yeah. No, that's very good.
You know what I mean?
Very good.
Just let Him do it and watch.
Yeah.
And then you can't. And then you know what? I'm stop rambling, y'all. But it's so
We never
powerful.
said that.
I know I did say that. Something was said at the event we went to Sunday. That your aunt said it was so powerful that when she was in the setting with all these professionals, that she didn't have a title. And I said, so many people feel they are in that. You know what I'm saying? She's not
Mhm.
alone. No.
Mhm.
That you feel that, and then you're like, who am I? What, you know what I'm saying? What am I? When you allow God to come into your life, it don't matter what setting you're in. You could be in there with some of the
Mhm.
17-star people. They got all this and that. I'm in it. I'm a child of God.
Yeah.
What you do?
Mhm.
I do work. I do stuff. I do
Right.
stuff.
I do
I
stuff.
ain't got no title for it just yet. You understand?
Mhm.
There's no title for it.
All right.
Well, how did you get? And it's so amazing. Yeah, I ain't had no title, but I'm sitting here amongst you guys with the 17 stars. So it must be somebody
Right. I'm
to
in
get in
here
that room
because I'm in here.
with
Right.
all the higher, you know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying? So I am somebody.
Mhm.
Now I may not have a plaque with the da 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 da, but I'm in here with you.
But I've been placed in here.
So it's a reason, right? And Marcus, when you open your mouth, then they say, "Oh shoot,
Mm-hmm. That's
I
why.
thought we was up."
Right.
Let's sit back now. I got to go home and process.
Mm-hmm.
And look, I got 75 plaques behind me in my desk. But I walked in, this is a child of God. Little old me. Not all them plaques, but I got the power of the Most High. You understand? The one who created the entire universe
Yes.
elevated me and got me sitting in this position. Man, what? Come on. No man can even pay for this. Ain't no schooling for this. Ain't no, you know what I'm saying? It's nothing that can even be equivalent to what the Heavenly Father gives you. Nothing.
Amen.
So when he moved, come on, man. Ain't no whatever man written, it can be erased. Because all them plaques, if the wall catches on fire, won't they ignite?
Yep.
Won't they go away? So then what you
There ain't
have?
no proof.
Right.
No more proof.
Right. Somebody erases the database at the school.
Right.
Is
Right.
it gone?
Say that.
You understand? So what are you living on? Now what do you have? You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So allow God to move in your life. And why? Then you don't have to do representative.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And then you have to tell them family members.
Yeah.
I don't want to go.
That's what I did.
Right? I don't want to do that.
It was devastating.
I don't want to do that.
But
No,
it
I'm not
worked,
going.
worked out for me though.
I want to see you this year
Right.
because I'm going over here.
Right.
But ain't you the one cook? And we always come and you do this and you cook. Nope.
Nope, not this time.
No, not this year. You may not see me the next year or the year after that
Right.
or the year beyond
It's
that.
over.
It's over.
Because those were my words.
Yes.
I'm done.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now until y'all change your ways, then I still love you.
Yes.
But
Still love y'all.
I won't be attending
Right.
because y'all disturb me
That's a fact.
and I need my peace. And I love my happiness.
But Pastor, you was talking about how the God put you in front of people that may have titles and things like that. Well, I mean, we just witnessed that. Everybody that was on that platform on Sunday were doctors except for Dez. You know what I'm saying? And then Marcus gets up there. He may necessarily have been a doctor, but come on now. Like you said, God used him in that platform and silenced the whole room. So it doesn't even matter. I mean, you see it, we see it with our own apostle. It don't matter where you place her at. She gonna be Apostle James Strauss. You know what I'm saying? So it don't matter what setting she's in. She will always be herself. And like you said, I'm over here just shaking my head because I'm in agreement with everything that you said because I'm thinking it. You know what I mean? But you just saying it.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. Once you come into God and God changes your whole whatever, it don't even matter what they say, what they think, how they feel. Now I'm saying this to you, Marcus T. Take that weight off your shoulders. That ain't even yours to carry. You already know who you are. You understand what I'm saying? You already know that what he just said to you is the truth. It's just the matter of you keep following God because he's the one that's opening the doors for you.
Amen. 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 Stamp that with the amen.
Amen.
The big stamp, and I'm just going to end it on this.
Absolutely.
And this wasn't. Did I lose y'all? Oh, we still here?
We still here.
Yes, we see here.
Yeah.
Are we all still
PDF
here?
just popped on the
Yeah, it
screen.
went wow.
All right.
Yes.
And this young man, and this wasn't about Marcus tonight, but we were talking, and he brought it up. God is moving.
Yes.
Yes. Even in that, right? Like you were just saying, Kathy, everybody's a doctorate. They got doctors. They got degrees. They all on this earth is because they got different accolades. I looked at the power. I looked at what this gentleman right here has went through in his life, and what he has walked through. None of the doctors could walk through that.
Nope.
Absolutely.
No doctor on that sitting on that panel could have walked through that. What this gentleman right here
And then
has walked through and stand there and give it
sitting there looking
flat-footed
like he's
and no dropping. He dropped the pride. He had to drop all that, drop all of this. And as a man, I saw him. You know what I'm saying? Even in the times that we had, even seeing him, the his frailness, even his physical, and his mind was, and since where he's at today, no one on that chair, I don't care how much money they got on, how much art they can collect, all the art to build a house with the art that could not stand with that young man, with this young man here. You understand what I'm saying? Because you can't, because God did it.
Yes.
I don't have the mental dexterity to even hold up and stand. Do you understand? Do you know? I know I could. You know what I'm saying? At this young age, all the way to now. So that's God. So that shows what God will do and what God can do. People can talk and judge and point the finger and say what they think. But until you walk through certain individuals, you have no idea, and no, you could not walk through that. You understand what I'm saying? You don't have the strength. And to walk daily, every day. So I ain't no representative. That's you, man. Bump on that. That way, to kill that noise. That's you. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter about who you're in front. It's who you are.
Yeah.
Right? It's who you are, who God has called you to be. That's what we must stand and understand that. Doesn't matter who's in the room. It's who I am.
Yeah.
I know here on earth, you may get intimidated. You may feel like, ooh, they got this, ooh, they got that. It don't give a because
I'm getting it.
You understand what I'm saying? Without him, you nothing. It doesn't matter. Even your attire, your dress, it doesn't matter, none of that stuff. Because it can be wiped out in a second.
A second.
Right? If you take all the DRs out front of people's name, who are they? What are you? Who are you? You understand? And this man right here has given himself who he is and what he has been doing in his books, in his writing, and just speaking even online, giving who he is, right? And we all have coming into God is being who we be. Who are we, right? And I processed that even when we left. I'm like, when your aunt said that, I was like, that is so good. That's so powerful. That hit harder than anything everybody had said in there besides Marcus Bohm. I was like, that was heavy. Nobody wanted to touch
deal
that.
with it.
No, it's like,
it was some in there that's dealing with that.
If that's taken off your name and that's just your name, who are you now? You understand what I'm saying? And that's powerful. And you got to stand. Who are you? Who are you? And that's heavy. You know what I mean? We don't want to think about it, right? We want to go back and party and let's have a good time, but we want to sit on that. Who am I? What do I do? If I don't do this, which was, you know what I'm saying, which man has created or what have you, who am I?
And snatched in an instant.
Because man controls it. You know what I'm saying? Because man controls it. All right, family. All right.
That's crazy.
I know we went off and
was crazy.
We went on
Marcus.
We went on the wave road, but it's good.
Conversation was crazy. That was good.
It's powerful. It's very powerful. God is good, y'all.
Yes.
Who the Heavenly Father is. You know what I mean?
Lord,
and be in Him and be you. Be yourself, right? You know what I mean? And understand the power that you possess.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's not based on a name. It's not based on whatever's in front of your government name. Called the government name. It's not based on. It's based on who you are.
Yes.
Who you are. Can you stand in the midst of all this? Can you stand up and still stand up?
Oh, have mercy.
Man, come on. All right. Love you, family. Thank you for joining. I know this got kind of intimate like this our really conversation, did. But it's cool. Y'all was a part of our conversation, right? Yeah, it's good. God is good.
Yes.
Allow Him to move in your life. Just let Him take full control. I'm telling you.
Let Him do it.
The power is there.
Get rid of all them representatives. You won't be so woke out in the evening, honey.
Yes.
I'm telling you right now.
Yeah. All right, family. Thank you, folks. Yep. Thank you, panel here or group. Yes. We want to call ourselves.
We're a panel.
We're a panel.
Yes.
Okay, we're a panel. To me, it's family online.
I mean, it's true.
It's like the Brady Bunch, right? And with a picture of the Brady Bunch.
All right, then.
All right. Thank y'all for joining.
See y'all next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
8:15.
Yes, God willing.
All right.